So good morning once again. Glad to see you all. Yeah. So this morning I wanted to talk about another practice for compassion. Yesterday we were exploring compassion for the part of us that's in that bind when we are kind of being grown by our practice. We are even surprising ourselves that these inner realizations come, or these recognitions, something that we've been holding in the body for a long time falls away, a thought process that we've been beholden to, we didn't even realize, that also falls away. And we recognize ourselves as like we are actually growing, evolving. And I spoke about that yesterday, as sometimes there's a tenderness about what we're outgrowing and who we're outgrowing. And so that's something that we feel somatically in the body, in the tissues of the body, in the sense of like, oh my gosh, my tribe, how am I going to keep growing? Can I keep risking this thing called yoga if I'm also like, I have this loyalty to my sense of tribe, the people that I know, my nearest and dearest, but also this loyalty to the larger tribe, like we actually have to keep growing. Something in us is called to participate in larger solutions. So we actually have to continue on. And that is a bind that we struggle with. So I want to encourage us to continue the compassion for that, where the bind itself can feel a little bit like the friction that I spoke about on Friday night in the Dharma talk, which was last Friday. That is posted on the YouTube channel for the Daya Foundation. And this bind might not be something that you're currently struggling with, but you likely have been through the process, because if you're on the path of yoga for any period of time, there are these growth spurts or these developmental shifts that we go through. And what was once past is now past, and we no longer have a loyalty to those thought processes. So compassion for any part of us that's still in the bind. And I'm going to add to this today compassion for any part of us that has moved through these developmental stages previously, and we didn't handle them that well with the people around us. We may not have known. We might have been clumsy. We may not have really known what our growth meant to us and what it meant to somebody else. And perhaps we didn't handle that gracefully. So I'll leave that for you to discern what is useful to you from that. You could also add in there, if you'd like to, any of the ways in which in your past you didn't know what you know now, and therefore you behaved, acted, spoke, related to people in ways that you actually regret. So compassion for the part of you that didn't know, that was in avidya, that was experiencing ignorance. And if that's still going on today, then compassion for that too. In this way, compassion means the willingness to feel the suffering, the bind, the difficulty, to be with that, and the desire to act to alleviate that suffering. So compassion is not a passive emotion. It has an active quality. Compassion, I'm willing to feel the difficulty, the suffering that I may have caused. I'm also willing to act to repair that or alleviate that suffering. Okay, so let's sit for a short bit together, and then we will have our chant to begin. And this morning we're going to use Asatoma, Satgamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya. May we overcome the tamas, Tamasoma. May we experience the Jyoti, the light. Mrit Yoma, Amritam Gamaya. May we no longer be contracted to our finite perspective about ourselves, which is usually too small. It doesn't define us. May we experience that which is infinite. You can rest your hands in your lap. Thank you so much for being here. It's really helpful for us to know that we're not the only ones risking the growth and the expansiveness that yoga brings to our lives. Bring the hands to the heart. And as you deepen the breath, imagine the quality of compassion installed in your heart. And let's imagine that as something that you can offer downstream to the first chakra. For the part of you that didn't know, and the part of you that is a member of the larger tribe, and also your personal tribe. There is present moment compassion and there is retroactive compassion. So even giving compassion to the parts of you that didn't know. Yeah, and then we'll be chanting Asatoma Satgamaya. So the compassion from the heart can offer itself downstream to the first chakra. Parts of us that we experienced avidya. We were not knowing the deepest truth and we were under development. So sometimes we acted in a clumsy or inauspicious way. Also compassion for the part of us that experiences the bind as we are growing, as yoga is expanding our understanding. And we feel a kind of tenderness towards the relationships in our lives that may either misperceive that or not understand, or we don't know how to stay in harmony or integrity there. You may bow your head to your heart and then release your hands, and please open your eyes. As you're taking a seat, we're just going to do a couple of twisting poses to get a sense of how the fourth chakra and the first chakra are related. So you could shake your legs out if you need to. In getting ready. Pardon me as I amble over. Oh, I have to change the camera. Excuse me. I'm still moving a little bit stiffly. You can imagine why. So let me choose the right camera. There we go. I got it. Yeah. I'm moving stiffly for those of you who don't know, because I'm almost 5 weeks out from my hip replacement on my left side. Now I have double titanium. Okay, so when you're sitting, start with Siddhasana like this. So it's got the widest base. You go heel to pubic bone, wide like this. Cross your left hand over your right knee. Take a block with you for the right hand. And as you're twisting, prioritize the breath in the first third of the torso. So down below the belly button. And try to wrap your left hand over your thigh in such a way as you actually do have some firmness of your left arm against the trunk, even against the solar plexus, perhaps against the lower abdomen also. And then imagine that you're gazing from the heart down to the first chakra and the first part of the pelvis as you receive the breath. Let it be a breath of compassion or kindness. And exhale, come around to face forward. Switch which ankle is in front. This is the awkward side for me. So if it's your awkward, you need to support. Don't let it hang out there awkward. Bring your right hand across to hold the outside of your left thigh. Walk your left hand to a block behind you. And then as you're rotating to your left, bring the breath down into the first part of the torso. And imagine from the heart that you're just sending this message with the breath, a message of compassion. We do want the compression of the twist and also the compression of the upper arm against the torso. So your breath is going to be required to go down low and also to include the back of the body. Good, yes, and then exhale, come around to face forward. Now cross your ankles. So we go from Siddhasana to Sukhasana. Yeah, now sometimes the way the shins and ankles are supporting each other, that's actually enough support. But for some, it's helpful to put a block under your knees. I'll put a block on one and a blanket on the other because my other block is being employed behind me for the twist. So knees about the same height as your hips. Cross your left hand over to your right knee. Twist to your right. And now try to include the first and the middle thirds of the breath. So first and middle means below the belly button, from the belly button to the solar plexus. Remind yourself to breathe in the back and sides of the torso. So back hemisphere, a lateral expansion of the breath as well. And again, that the heart can offer this breath as a kind of internal compassion. And please exhale, come around to face forward. Change the cross of your ankles. That's to give you a sense that both crosses are important and not to just have a preferred way that you cross. Bring your right hand over to your left knee, left hand behind. Raise up through your heart and rotate to your left. Now, when you're twisting to your left, keep the left thigh and knee moving forward towards whatever angle it's on. So you're actually not turning the pelvis to your left. We are turning the trunk to the left, but try to keep your pelvis and your sacrum stable. Move the inner belly. Yeah. You could imagine when you're pressing your left thigh forward that it's also kind of lengthening your right arm. So make that a priority there. So your twist will be stable in the pelvis. And then exhale, come around to face forward. Now take the left leg out in front and bring your right knee up towards your chest. You can notice if you were with me in the first couple weeks after my surgery that I get to bring my knee closer now. It's more comfortable and more possible. So take your left hand around your right shin. Press the right shin out into your hand. So this is a firm contact. Twist to your right. Place your right hand behind you. And now let's see if we can have the breath be the first third, middle third, upper third. And still the attitude of the breath can come from the heart of compassion. In the first third, you can imagine compassion for that which you didn't know or some clumsiness that you've had in the past. Middle third, compassion for the process of the bind. As we work to overcome that bind, our relationships actually do improve, but we don't know it sometimes on the front side. And then the upper third of the breath, the sense of really appreciating the growth process that yoga brings into your life. With your next inhale, raise your left arm up. And then cross your left arm over your right knee. Keep pressing your right knee out into your arm. Now putting the arm across is going to make the twist stronger in the upper body. So use that extra strength wisely and well. And exhale, rotate around to face forward. Bring your left knee in, take your right leg out. You cross your right hand to your left shin to start, left hand around behind. And again, the breath, first, middle, and upper thirds of the breath. And see if you can start lightly sensing an equalness to the inhale and the exhale, like we were talking about yesterday. Can it be equal? So you could count first, middle, and upper thirds of the breath in threes. It makes it easier to come. Each part of those is also equal. And then if your inhale's 9, your exhale's 9. We're not using any interruption to the breath right now. I'm just encouraging you to lightly count the breath to pace yourself in the process. With your next inhale, raise your right arm up and then cross over so your right arm crosses your left leg, and use that extra leverage wisely and well. Press your right arm into your left knee and your left knee into your right arm. With an exhale, come around to face forward. Sit in your preferred posture. So I was saying yesterday also that, and over the weekend, we have to work out the tamas, the residue that we have accumulated. And that residue, when it's freed up, this natural compassion, the native compassion, comes through the whole system more easily. So please place your hands up on your shoulders. We're going to be doing Kapalabhati, left, right, left, right. This is a cleansing technique called the kriya. Five, four, three, two, one. Come to center and inhale up to suspension. Release the bandhas and exhale in your own timing. Deeply relax the lower belly. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Hands, we'll do once more. Five, four, three, two, one. Come to center and inhale up to suspension. Timing, release the exhale. Rest quietly in the echo or the effervescence of that. Please rise up to standing. We're going to come to the top of the mat. We'd like you to have a yoga strap. I'm going to be slower to stand up than you guys are. Thanks for your appreciation. So rise up to stand with your strap, and please make the strap so it is shoulder width. Like this. strap and place it behind you. So your wrists go in the strap. And when you place the hands in, the palms are going to face each other. Okay, let's do feet hip distance apart. Raise up through your heart and squeeze the arms back. Bring your attention down to your feet and press into all 10 toes. Yeah. Raise your inner arches. And root your outer heels. Remind yourself of the teachings over the weekend. We had the block between the inner thighs and the strap around the legs. So take the inner thighs back and your tailbone down. Now tone the outer hips right here, just by isometrically hugging your heels towards each other. And then rise up to a standing back bend. We want the lower hemisphere of your body, from your hips to your feet, to be really stable for the standing back bend. Inhale, press up. Now, keeping the inner thighs and outer hips toned, exhale, come forward and down, Uttanasana. And keep the hands in the strap. Squeeze your wrists out against the strap. Inhale, glide your heart forward. A little bit of a back bend in the upper part of your spine. Exhale for a deep bow towards your legs. It's okay to have the knees a little bit bent if your hamstrings are needing that. Let's do it once more. Inhale the heart forward. Stabilize your legs, inner thighs, outer hips. And exhale to bow over your legs. And the legs aren't moving back and forth. We're not swaying backwards. And inhale, glide your heart forward to rise up. Pour yourself down into your heels and toes. Keeping the stability of your pelvis, raise up again. And then exhale and release the strap, come upright. We can put this aside. And when you come to mountain pose now, just check what tamas has been released, what residue is getting released. Sometimes the word tamas is translated as the word covering. It conceals things, it covers things, like it can cover over your essence so that you are also confused about your very self. So releasing those coverings, we come more naturally to the experience of compassion. So now I'd like to have your preparedness for your sun salutation, and that might mean that you have 2 blocks. For those of you who were here yesterday, you know that for me it means 2 chairs. So I'm getting those set up. So setting up for your particular needs there. So when you set up, I want it to be stable. And again, thank you for your appreciation that I'm managing. And I'm happy to be managing. I'm levitating. See? I'm not expecting you to do that without chairs, by the way. So place your feet to their hip distance apart. Join your hands at your heart. And keeping the lower hemisphere of your body stable. Inhale, clasp the hands, press them forward, down and up. Please look up. And then exhale, bring your hands down behind your head, squeeze the base of the skull and the pinkies together so that you can have a little standing back bend. Inhale, press up, come upright. And then exhale, arms wide and forward and down. Touch the blocks or the floor, or for me, the rungs of the chair. Inhale, glide your heart forward. Exhale, take your left toes straight back. Inhale to your crescent lunge. And as you rise up to your crescent, Initially, take the arms overhead, clasp the hands, and press up. Now, get the lower body to be really established. So you've got your left toes behind you, right heel, right toes in front of you. And as you energize your legs, press up, reach up through the back of your waist. And then take the clasped hands just there at the base of the skull and use that support for a little more of a back bend in the heart. Sweep the elbows forward. So my hands, the palms are facing away from the head, and the pinkies are at the base of the skull. And that means that my head is resting back on the knuckles of my fingers. Anyway. And then exhale, sweep your arms wide. Blocks. Inhale, step your back foot forward. And exhale for a deep bow over the legs. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, right toes back. And then inhale, rise up into your crescent. Interlace the fingers, please press up. And as you've got the lower body established, so left heel, left toes, right toes, aim your left knee towards your third toe, please. Energize your right leg, and then take the hands down behind your head so you've got this neat little spot to rest, and then sweep the elbows forward as you back bend. Commit to the stability of your legs to support the lift of the heart. And then inhale, press up, look forward. And exhale, sweep the arms wide, come over your front leg, and this time step backwards to downward dog pose. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. And then exhale, bend your knees and come into cow pose. Bring your chest and heart forward. Inhale, glide your hips forward, make it into seal pose. And exhale, use the lower belly to come into table pose. Inhale to plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog pose. Okay, inhale, raise your right leg high behind you. And then exhale, step your right foot forward between the chairs. This time as you rise up to your crescent, check that your feet are hip distance apart, raise up. And now while gazing forward and keeping absolutely steady, start taking the left inner heel down behind you. So keep everything steady. The only change is your left leg. And as the inner heel reaches back, reach through the inner thigh to your inner heel. You'll see that my back foot's on an angle. Yeah. And as you're raising up now, turn the left hand out and make a backstroke with your left arm. On that backstroke, if you can reach it, hold the left inner thigh. And aim up with your right arm, like the right arm's like an arrow. Keep the left leg strong. You could check the strength of the left leg by pressing your thigh into your left hand. And then exhale and windmill your right arm, left arm, and step backwards to downward dog pose, please. And then exhale, bring your left foot forward between your hands. Keep the right heel lifted at first. You're going to inhale, rise up to your crescent. And let's do feet hip distance apart. Mine's a little bit off, so I have to adjust it. Good, and as you're raising up, keep everything steady, the mind, the knee, the nose, the eyes, and take the right inner heel slowly down. A little bit of an angle, reach from the inner right thigh to your inner right heel. And now keeping the left arm up, turn your right hand out and make a backstroke with the right arm. You can hold the inner thigh or you can touch the back of your hamstring. Strengthen the right leg as you reach up. Keep your left knee stable, please. Press down through your left heel. That will help you with the left knee remaining stable. Tone your left outer hip. Strengthen your right leg all the way into your right heel. And then exhale, windmill the arms over. And as you touch the floor or the blocks or the rungs of the chair, in my case, inhale, step forward with your exhale for a deep bow to your legs. Inhale, rise up, sweep the arms wide. And exhale, hands to your heart. Asatana Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Inhale, sweep the hands down, wide and up. Exhale to chair pose. Keep the knees as wide as the third toe. And I do prefer that your legs are hip distance or a little wider, like mine are wider. Bring your left arm down and inhale, twist to your right. Exhale, return to chair pose. Inhale, twist left. I know it seems weird to twist on an inhale. We're trying to open the upper chest and heart. Exhale, return to chair pose. Tone your lower belly in towards your sacrum. Inhale, twist right. Exhale to center, chair pose. Sit back into your heels. Inhale, twist left. Press your right arm against the inside of your right knee. Exhale, chair pose. Little bit of heat in the body. Inhale, rise up, upward hands. And exhale, descend, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, take the left toes straight back. Inhale, rise up to your crescent. And then exhale, touch the left knee down. Good. Inhale, reach up in anjanyesana. The heels can be stable where they were, so your right heel stays down and your knee can come a little bit forward of your ankle. Inhale to look up. And then exhale, level off and twist to your right. Cross the back of your left hand to the outside of your right knee. Keep the torso up high, so the twist is going to have this open chest and heart. Open your right palm behind you so the hand is facing up. You can receive the gifts of compassion. And then exhale, rotate back to center. Now, keeping the right heel grounded, inhale, rise back up to your crescent. And then exhale, bow forward over your right leg. And step your left foot forward to meet your right foot. Inhale the heart forward. Okay, exhale, right toes back. Press down for your left heel, rise up to your crescent. Yep. And then exhale and come down so the right knee touches the floor. Normally I would do without support, but I need support. You might also recruit some support. Rise up. Here's anjanyesana. And then twist to your left. Put the back of your right hand. Yep. Turn the left palm up. And not only are you receiving this kind of open palm, receiving this sense of compassion from the universe, you can also extend it outwards. So this twist is upright. We're focusing on the heart. And let's exhale, come around to center. Press into your left heel, straighten your right leg behind you. Rise up to your crescent. And then exhale and reach forward. You can touch the floor, the blocks, or the rungs of the chair. Inhale, step backwards, downward dog pose. Now, keeping the breath smooth, please inhale forward to plank pose. Then exhale to cow pose. So touch the knees down, bring your chest and heart forward, open your throat. And then inhale, glide your hips forward into seal pose. And look up. With an exhale, roll up to table pose. And then reach back to child's pose. And in child's pose, keep your head at the same height as the upper arms. So your head's not going to go lower than your shoulders right now. My hope is that lets you take the hips further back. The hips can touch the heels. And then inhale, roll forward to the cat pose. Exhale, cow pose. Open the heart. Inhale, downward dog pose. Okay, exhale, right foot forward between your hands. Keeping the right heel grounded. Rise up to your crescent. Now take the left inner heel back like we did before. Root it down, keeping the back leg strong. Make a backstroke with your left arm. Inhale, rise up. You may look up. And then exhale, and looking forward, raise your left arm forward as well. Open your right arm, twist to your right. This is an unsupported twist. You have to have the movement of the heart. The initiation is within. We're not holding on to something. Keep the pelvis really stable. And then exhale and bow over your right leg and step backwards, downward dog pose. I realized that earlier, I think I had you guys lift your right leg in dog pose on an inhale, but you didn't do it with your left leg. So let's inhale, raise the left leg high. And then exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Inhale, rise to your crescent. Now aiming forward, take the right inner heel really slowly down. So you're not rotating the pelvis so much as you're rotating the femur to bring the back heel down. Backstroke with the right arm. Rise up with the heart. You're doing beautifully, thank you. And then with an exhale, raise your right arm behind you. Inhale, reach the right arm forward, twist to your left. So again, you want to keep the pelvis really stable. The lower body is your stability. Rotate through the upper body. You have to use the reach of both arms. It's kind of like an ask of the universe. And then exhale and release over your left leg. Inhale, step your right foot forward, heart forward. And exhale for a deep bow to the legs. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. And really still. Please come down to lying on your back. I'd like you to have 2 blocks and a yoga mat close by. When you lie down, we're going to be doing something familiar to you, and we're going to use it as a chance to explore that 3-part breath again, where the inhale is equal to the exhale. So lie on your back, prepare for supported bridge pose. So you'll have both blocks can go under the back of the pelvis on the flat setting like this, or you could use one block, just one block on the medium setting like that. The strap is going to be for your hands. And let me talk about, for some of us, it feels like it's hard to use the strap because of the length of the arms or the flexibility of the shoulders. So I'll discuss that with you in a moment. So when you come into position, place the sacrum firmly up on the 2 blocks. Touch your feet down to the floor. Tuck the shoulders well under the heart. And then reach for the yoga strap. While you're getting your loop organized, you may, of course, have the shoulders fluctuate from their position. So once you put the strap past the blocks, even if you have short arms, my hope is that they reach past the 2 blocks. One way that the shoulders can help with that is the tuck under of each shoulder. The lift of the heart is going to give you a little bit extra flexibility to reach past the blocks with the strap. Let's turn the palms to face each other. And as you roll your heart up, bring your gaze down towards the 4th chakra. Inviting the breath to be really smooth. See if you might be able to move the breath first third, middle third, upper third. And then the exhale, low third, middle third, and then internally from the upper third of the breath. Please try that for 3 more breath cycles. This is really the most advanced part of your practice this morning. So proceed with gentleness in your attitude and concentration in your efforts.
you've completed about 3 rounds of that, then you can release the shoulders from the strap. Bring your knees up so they're going to be vertical to the hips. And then raise your feet up maybe a little bit higher than your knees. Or if your hamstrings are flexible enough for it, you can take the called supported shoulder stand. Or supported candlestick pose, you could also say that. The purpose of having the legs a little bit elevated right now, even if your knees are bent, the purpose is that fresh blood supply that's coming down the legs and back towards the heart. You're having the return towards the heart and additional circulation towards your head as a result. Go ahead and bend your knees, touch your feet to the floor, lift your hips, and take the 2 blocks, set them aside. And then stretch the legs out and make the 2 feet like windshield wipers and give them a good shake. You're asking for that tamas to be removed from the body. So give the legs a good wiggle here. It's like giving yourself a Traeger massage. Remember the form of massage called Traeger? Stick with it a few moments more, please. And then let the legs go slack. Palms up. Let me completely relax. Soften the space right between your eyebrows. Smooth out the entirety of your forehead. Encourage your eyebrows themselves to relax and for the corners of the eyes to be at rest. And soften any unnecessary holding in your temples, right side, left side. And your eyelids are just gently draping over your eyes. No pressure on the eyes themselves. Encourage the muscles of your cheeks to soften from the bridge of your nose down towards your ears. And soften the place where your nostrils and invite your tongue to be really heavy at the back of your mouth. lower jaw to get heavier with relaxation. Welcome your throat to be really profoundly at ease. Keeping this relaxation to your face, invite all 5 senses to be deeply restored. Bring awareness to your throat. Once again, deeply relax the throat and allow your shoulders to get heavier against the ground. Welcome your arms to become even more limp, the fingers and the thumbs that are curled in with relaxation. And traveling down through the solar plexus, from the heart to the diaphragm. Release any unnecessary holding at the 3rd chakra. The deep inner belly to be at rest, releasing any unnecessary tension there. All the organs can be nourished. And arriving back down to the 1st chakra. Your tailbone and the pubic bones be really still.
You rest in your Shavasana. Consider how the upper chakras, they can visit the lower chakras. It's like your present day self can visit your past self in imagination. And the present day self would likely have greater wisdom, capacity to offer to the past self, like the upper chakras have an offering to the lower chakras. Particularly this morning, you can imagine from the fourth chakra, the heart, this compassion, the ability to feel the tenderness of something or its suffering, and the desire to alleviate suffering, to act in that direction. Imagine that towards the first chakra. For past vulnerabilities, current vulnerabilities, and future vulnerabilities. And slightly deepen your breathing, please. And let's make a transition to return to sitting. Each of you in your own way, the preference that you have for your seat. When you come to your seat, make it a comfortable and upright, steady position. Into the position for the first chakra. Lam, lam, lam. Lam, 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 lam. Lam, 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 lam. Okay. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, wam. Ram, 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 ram. Or yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. And the mudra for the first chakra. Now once up to a suspension for the heart. Brightening the heart with this inner sense of compassion. When you release the suspension, exhale, releasing the tamas, the coverings over the heart. And rest in the silence that follows. Listen for how the body becomes a vessel for receiving this inner compassion, and also having it flow outwards from you. You may raise your hands to your heart. As you raise your hands to your heart, bring that compassion in. And you may bow your head to your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Yeah. Namaste. But the Zoom has frozen, and I do apologize for that.